did this whole bathroom remodel, oh, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago ish, maybe longer. And they called and said that the valve here is leaking, the main valve. This is a Delta faucet. It's leaking out of the bottom there. It's probably an O-ring or something. So I got a new cartridge to put in there. Like I said, it's a Delta. If it has these two handles, it's probably similar to what you have, possibly, but you might need to find a part number. So start by taking this cap off that protects that screw there. This has two handles. That set screw there is going to hold that first handle on, which is temperature, hot and cold. And then after you get that off, that handle there is just on and off as far as water pressure, how much water is coming out. So on off, that has a set screw holding that on there tight. So get an Allen wrench, loosen that up, and then that part of the handle will come off. And then after that, this trim ring on the inside of this escutcheon thing, it's got a little dent in the bottom there to help you get in there to pry that off. You got to get that off. That pretty much just protects the screws and, helps keep water out and all that kind of stuff. So next you have this cover for the cartridge. It's like a sleeve. That'll come off. There's a lot of corrosion in here. I'm kind of surprised. It's not that old, but this city water is pretty hard. So next is this ring here, that nut there. That holds the whole cartridge into the valve body. That has to come off, and then you should be able to get that cartridge out. I just use some channel locks. You might have to get a pipe wrench on here, but just be careful you don't bang up the walls or scratch the escutcheon thing there. But after you get that nut off, there might be a little bit of pressure behind this thing. Not much, just a little bit of residual water. After you get that ring off, you might have to tug on this thing and wiggle it and pull on it to get it to come out. Sometimes they're hard to let go, but this one came out pretty easy. I'm just lining it up with the new one, make sure we got the right parts here. The old one has a sticker on it as far as how it's oriented. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a hot and cold side, little arrows. The new one has a stamp on it that says hot and cold. So I want to make sure I get those oriented the way the old one was, and make sure we don't get this flipped around and mixed up. So the kit I got, that cartridge actually came with this. It's seats and springs. It's for a different model number, but does go inside the valve body if you have this particular faucet. Mine does not have that, but I don't know. Seems like kind of a waste to package that. I'm just going to throw it away. I don't need it, but it comes with this little clippy thing you stick on there so you can shove it in there a little easier. It's kind of nice. But I don't need that, so we'll get rid of that. And the new cartridge here has got, two O-rings and a big O-ring. You want to make sure you get those greased. It should come with a little tube of grease for lubing up those O-rings real good. Get them covered all the way around. And then I noticed on the old one, there was a lot of corrosion inside those little pockets where that thing sits. I scraped a little bit of corrosion out of the inside and wiped it out real good. I think that might have been contributing to the problem. But got that cleaned out and got the new cartridge slid in there. Make sure it goes in all the way. I might have to push it, put some force on it to get those O-rings to get on there. But and then just do everything in reverse. Get this retaining nut on there, tighten down, and then this sleeve cover for the cartridge, I put some grease on the inside of that. It was kind of rough coming off. It slides over that O-ring back there. And all these things just help keep water from getting behind it and whatnot. So it was hard coming off, so I put some grease on it. It's a little easier going back on. That'll help keep it lubricated if it's got to come off again. So I got the water turned back on and let this thing run for a little bit, and did the controls back and forth, so no leaks. So there you go. Hope that helps.